What's up, y'all? It's your boy Vinnie-Dangerous, and I am back with another installment of Dangerous Minds. And I'm very excited about this episode here because it's something that I've been wanting to get off my chest for a long time. I'm very excited, but before we get into it, I'd like to thank you for watching. If you haven't already subscribed to the channel, please do, and please become a supporter of the Patreon site, the official site that will have the link in the description below, to support the Dangerous Minds. I want to make this show bigger. I want to give you higher quality videos, better editing, just do more things to make this show more entertaining. If you are a fan of the show, I would please like you to support for $1, just $2. You will be met with perks. I will give you shout outs on the show, on the end credits. I will also have exclusive content that will be exclusive to you. Starting in September, I'll start to upload my first couple of videos, which will be album reviews, something that people have been asking me to do for a long time. And, I've just been getting kind of ready for it. People wanted me to do it because of my insight on certain music topics and music news. So, they wanted to get my ideas about how I felt about certain albums. So I'll be doing some reviews on some of the albums that have come out this year. On the Patreon site and on the Dangerous Minds Facebook page, the fan page, I will be posting different questions about people to vote on what albums I should do reviews on, and I will start to do those videos and post them starting in September. So I would really appreciate that. I would really appreciate if you subscribe, like the fan page, and follow me on Instagram. Be a part of the discussion. You make this show better. So I really appreciate that. Now let's get on to the topic at hand, because like I said, this is something I've wanted to talk about for a long time. If you have followed me on social media, if you've spoken to me, if you have, the cover of this episode is actually a picture that I made and made my Facebook profile picture and my Twitter profile picture for a number of months, because this is how much I do not like this dude at all. I have a major beef with Charles Barkley. Haven't done a My Beef episode in a while, and I actually had planned on doing this when the podcast was in audio last year, because I had a lot of things to say about this guy. But coincidentally, when I was getting ready to do the show, he's pretty quiet. It wasn't really a hot topic in the news. A lot of other things going on that I had to cover. So I decided to put that on the back burner. But he decided in the last week or so to rear his ugly head once again. So why do I have a problem with Charles Barkley? And it's kind of funny because, his recent comments about the removal of Confederate statues almost mirrored my opinion on the statues. And when I say that, I mean when he said that for a while we didn't really care about those statues. We walked past those statues. I can say personally all the time, when I was downtown Durham, the one that was pulled down earlier last week or a couple weeks ago, I walked past that statue all the time, didn't pay it no attention, didn't really pay it no mind. The problem is, and there's other things that he said too that I might agree on, but there's the problem with Charles Barkley's stance, and the difference between that and between mine is that, one, he is champion, he is the champion, he's the black champion for white people in those situations. He is, instead of holding the neo-Nazis and the fact that these Confederate statues and flags are still standing, he is not understanding the reason why people are upset. I understand why people are upset. I understand why people want these things removed. And, I will say that because of a situation like what happened in Charlottesville, Virginia, if it did bring attention to the fact that these things need to come down, then I'm all for it. I just made a comparison to, if we're going to do that, if we're all going to come together to remove some statues that we didn't give a fuck about 3-4 weeks ago, then we should come together for the NFL for a situation that has been going on for a year. We is well documented that Colin Kaepernick has been taking a stand by kneeling and not refusing to stand for the national anthem in protest because of how black people are being killed in the United States by police officers, unarmed. There's been video evidence to prove that they were not in any form or fashion threatening and warranted excessive force, and was still shot down and were let go with little to no repercussion whatsoever. So I figured, because the NFL decided to, in response to his protest, to blackball him from the league, maybe we should all come together and do something for something that is happening in the current instead of something that happened in the past. These Confederate fuckers are dead. They are, even though they have statues that live on and people look up to, in reality they're still in the books, they're still in the museums. They are still parts of history that people will idolize, whether there are statues around or not. So I say, let's do something that's going on in the present, and we're worried about that shit in the past. Maybe we should band together and use our energy to affect something that is happening right now, and to rally around somebody that is fighting for us in the present, and let's leave them fuckers where they are in the past. But I understand why those statues need to come down. I understand why people are outraged and they need to be removed. And they are being removed. The problem I have with Charles Barkley and his statements is the difference is he is championing them. He does not hold them to any type of accountability, because he speaks like all accountability falls on black people's laps. He will vaguely acknowledge the neo-Nazis. He will vaguely acknowledge police brutality and their, wrongdoing in the situation, but he will vaguely talk about them and completely leave the conversation on us, like the grunt and the bulk of the problem is on black people. He always uses the same narrative that you will see somebody like Tommy Lauren, or I don't know, some fucking dude from Fox News. Let's just put them all in one bubble, like Bill O'Reilly or somebody like that who just got fired. I mean, he got fired a while back. He will use the same rhetoric that they will use as, as a defense for what's going on in the black community. It's all our fault. He doesn't acknowledge the systems that are put in place. He does not acknowledge the cause and effect, the reason, the low education, us still trying to recover from crack. I'm not even going to talk about slavery. I'm talking about what happened in the 80s with crack, which destroyed black families. The welfare systems in their original incarnations were used to destroy black families, that created the domino effect that led to single mothers, that led to early pregnancies, that led to millions of black men being locked away for crimes that they were, I'm not going to say that they were completely innocent, but these systems played a part in their incarceration, in the mass incarceration of black people all over this country. So that's the part that, Charles Barkley does not want to acknowledge. And it's kind of funny to me, because when I think about the things that are wrong with the black community, one of the biggest things is unity. And Charles Barkley, for all his talk about what's wrong with the black community and trying to do things, or trying to say that he wants to do things to help the black community, he is a shining example of what is wrong with the black community. He's a shining example of why we are so divided and why they are united. The team owners and coaches unified to blackball Colin Kaepernick, with an exception of a few. But the overall consensus was he is a problem because he is kneeling to the national anthem. Whether we are upset because he is disrespecting the flag, and they care more about flags than they care about the people that he is standing up for, or just the fact that they are afraid because of fan backlash because he decided that he didn't want to stand up for the national anthem. And they don't want that negative attention to affect their team and the popularity, like the ticket sales and all this other stuff. either way, they all came to an agreement that he does not need to be in the league until he decides that he doesn't want to, he wants to give up his cause. That's pretty much what the common consensus was. But when it comes to us, we are so divided because we talk about black on black crime. We talk about, well, the police officers may have been right. We don't know the whole story. Man, he shouldn't have been out there. You know, it's a whole lot of different things. Like, no, we're not completely unified for the fact that there was a man with a gun in his hand, and there was another man that did not have any type of weapon, or was not making any type of threatening movements, emotions, or nothing. But he still got caught. He still got shot, and he went in front of a grand jury and was completely acquitted. Those are common sense facts. I'm a man with two eyes. I'm not gonna sit here and say that I'm more intelligent than another person, but I'm a man with common sense and with two working eyes that are fully functional. I have 20/20 vision, and I can say that I looked at that situation, I looked at how everything played out, and I said that this motherfucker's wrong. But because Charles Barkley, and people like Charles Barkley, people like Ray Lewis, people like Michael Vick, of all people, Michael Vick will stand up and will defend these situations. We'll talk down about Colin Kaepernick. We'll talk badly about the people who were taken out by police brutality. And we'll talk bad about people rallying around getting rid of these statues, is what I have a problem with. But Charles Barkley is the biggest and worst example to me, for many reasons. He is the guy that is willfully able to be blind to what's going on to his people. But he will see their reactions and be real quick to try to lay down the law, try to reprimand them, try to talk bad about us because we are outraged about a situation. Who knows? We may not always agree with how people decide to take action, but I understand the pain and I understand your reasoning for it. So whether it's taking down statues, whether it's defending, or whether it's police brutality, or whether it's anything else dealing with the black community, Charles Barkley is Don Lemon, is Ray Lewis. He is everybody else that will come to the aid of the oppressor and will be sitting there trying to talk down about the oppressed. So Charles Barkley, I don't like you. I'll never like you. I remember when you were on ESPN and you told black critics of you to kiss your ass. Well, how about you kiss mine? That's my time. It's been your boy Vinnie-Dangerous. Like I said, support the show with the Patreon site. Follow me on Instagram, like the page on Facebook, and please subscribe to the channel. I just wanted to get off my chest. Tune in next week for another episode of Dangerous Minds. I'll see you again next week. Peace. Much love.
I'm proud to say I built my bread on honesty, so I really appreciate if you ain't lie to me. I ain't like these other rappers, they all lie to me. That's why I'd rather speak the truth, it'll set you free. Girl, I'm proud to say I built my brand on honesty, so I'd really appreciate if you ain't lie to me. I ain't like these other rappers, they all lie to me. That's why I'd rather speak the truth, it'll set you free.